In the peaceful village of Sundara, where lush green fields stretched between rolling hills, lived a farmer named Raghav. He had inherited a small piece of land from his ancestors, a land that had sustained his family for generations. With calloused hands and a heart full of hope, Raghav worked tirelessly from dawn till dusk, plowing, sowing, and tending to his crops. By his side was Mira, his devoted wife, who managed the household and raised their two children, Arjun and Priya. Though their life was simple, it was far from easy. Farming depended on nature, and nature was unpredictable. Yet Raghav never complained. He believed that as long as he worked hard and remained persistent, success would come. However, he had no idea that a great challenge was looming ahead, threatening to take everything away from him. A harsh summer struck Sundara, bringing relentless heat that scorched the land. The once fertile fields cracked and dried, and the thriving crops withered away. The sudden drought crushed the hopes of many farmers, including Raghav. He had taken out a small loan to invest in better seeds and farming tools, hoping for a bountiful harvest. But now, with his crops failing, he had no way to repay his debt. The ruthless moneylender, Laj Ji, showed no sympathy for Raghav's plight. He arrived at Raghav's home with cold, piercing eyes, demanding immediate repayment along with high interest. "You promised to pay me after the harvest. Where's my money?" he sneered. Raghav pleaded for more time, but Laj Ji scoffed. "Time won't grow crops. Pay me or lose your land." Fear gripped Raghav's heart. Losing his land meant losing everything, not just his livelihood, but his family's heritage. He could not allow his wife and children to suffer. Determined, he made a difficult decision. He would leave the village and go to the city in search of work. Though he had never left his homeland before, he had no choice. Holding his wife and children close one last time, he promised to return with enough money to save their farm. With hope and anxiety in his eyes, he walked away, embarking on an arduous journey. Leaving behind his home, Raghav arrived in the bustling city of Pune, hoping to find work and earn enough money to save his land. But city life was nothing like the peaceful village he had known. Struggling to keep up with the fast-paced urban world, he searched desperately for work. Raghav took on various jobs, working as a laborer at a construction site, a worker in a textile mill, and even a porter at the railway station. Though the wages were meager, he saved every penny, determined not to let his family down. Back home, Mira managed to keep the household running with the little money Raghav sent. She taught their children resilience and hope, ensuring they stayed strong despite missing their father. Arjun and Priya longed for him, but they understood he was fighting for their future. One evening, while working at the market, Raghav overheard two businessmen discussing organic farming. They spoke about how natural farming methods enriched the soil and yielded high-value crops. The idea struck Raghav like a revelation. Could this be the solution to his struggles? That night, he began researching organic farming. He read about natural fertilizers, crop rotation, and sustainable techniques. As he delved deeper, his mind raced with possibilities. He knew what he had to do next. With renewed determination, he planned his return, not just with money, but with knowledge that could change his life and the lives of those around him. After 6 months of hard work, Raghav returned to Sundarpur, not only with his savings, but also with a newfound dream. He had discovered a new path for the village farmers, organic farming. Upon his return, he gathered the villagers and shared what he had learned. "We need to change the way we farm," he urged. "Organic produce is in high demand. It will not only restore our soil, but also bring us better profits." Many were skeptical. One farmer shook his head and said, "Organic farming takes time. What if we fail?" But Raghav remained steadfast. "We have already lost so much. Why not take a chance?" Eventually, a small group of farmers agreed to join him in the experiment. They began restoring the land using organic compost, rotating crops, and avoiding chemical pesticides. The transition was challenging at first. Plants grew slower and pests became a problem. But Raghav remained patient, guiding his fellow farmers to adopt natural methods of pest control. After months of perseverance, the first organic harvest was ready. To everyone's surprise, the crops were healthier, tastier, and more abundant. When Raghav took them to the city market, he was astonished by the high prices they fetched. News of the organic produce spread quickly, and more farmers in Sundarpur began to adopt the practice. a farming revolution was beginning to take shape. Raghav's success story spread far and wide, inspiring more farmers in the village to switch to organic farming. Soon, Sundarpur transformed into a hub for clean agriculture, attracting traders from different cities. The once barren fields were now lush and thriving, bringing newfound hope to the entire village. With the profits from organic farming, Raghav not only repaid his debts, but also helped other farmers free themselves from financial struggles. His achievements caught the attention of the local government, who recognized Sundarpur's remarkable transformation. Officials visited the village, eager to learn from Raghav's methods, and invited him to share his expertise with other farming communities. For his contributions to sustainable agriculture, Raghav was honored with a prestigious award. Yet for him, the greatest reward was seeing his village flourish once more. Determined to give back, he used his earnings to build a school where children could receive both formal education and agricultural training. Arjun and Priya, proud of their father's journey, pursued agricultural sciences, hoping to further improve their village's farming techniques. Inspired by Raghav's perseverance, they vowed to continue his legacy and make Sundarpur an even greater success. Years passed, and Sundarpur had completely transformed. Once a struggling, barren village, it had become a model for sustainable farming. Children played among the thriving fields, enjoying a life that previous generations had fought so hard to build. Now an elderly man, Raghav stood in the middle of the flourishing fields, watching his grandchildren run through the crops. He had endured years of hardship, uncertainty, and relentless struggle, but it had all been worth it. Thanks to his efforts, Sundarpur not only escaped poverty, but also became a leading supplier of high-quality organic produce. His story became an inspiration for farmers across the country. With the knowledge they inherited, Arjun and Priya continued to develop new farming techniques, ensuring that their father's vision endured. Raghav had turned his struggles into triumph, proving that perseverance and learning could change destinies, not just for one man, but for an entire community.